All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, welcome back. Welcome back to a little bit of a different video this time. My goodness gracious, what I've learned today. It is actually insane. So, for those of you who don't know, I stream every day at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel. And today, I decided to play Honkai Impact Third. So, I've only played it for about approximately 6 hours, so I'm still pretty green on the ears, as some would say. However, I just felt I had to make this video of my first impressions after my first day of playing it. This game is actually insane. Now, I've discussed this with my friends a little bit, and I'll discuss what I've told them and what they've told me, and how they made fun of me. But I kind of just wanted to give, what I thought at first, what I think now, and just how I'm going to compare it to Genshin Impact. So that goes into why did I play Honkai Impact Third today. I played it, the first reason, because Epic offered me free incentives to play it. Now, usually, Hoyoverse, the creators of Genshin, they give jack all in terms of rewards, right? But I was like, you know what, they're going to give me something, right? So they advertised it to me on the Epic Games Store, and I was like, let me play it. Why not try it, right? That's the first reason. They gave me a special promo code for in-game rewards. I have no clue what the rewards are, which we will get into exactly what that means, because that's another issue I have. But the other reason is because it's literally made by Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse has won me over in a lot of ways with Genshin because it's free to play. It's commonly known that Genshin, of all the gachas that are kind of out there, it's pretty much the most popular. And it has a pretty somewhat fair free-to-play model. Now, we can debate how fair that is, but that's a different video. It's somewhat fair. You do not really need to spend money on the game to beat it. To have fun, that's a different story, but to beat it, you don't have to spend money. So, Genshin won me over. It made me like Genshin. It made me like Hoyo. I like Hoyo decently enough. And I know Honkai Star Rail is coming out. So I was like, you know what? Let me play Honkai Impact Third, because I've also heard a lot of the characters in Genshin came from Impact Third. They were based off Impact Third characters. So that, combined with the fact that they gave me a little free promo code for random items, I was like, let me try it. I played it, and in the initial first hour, I was shocked in a bad way. I was very shocked. I was like, okay, this game is shit, right? I knew almost nothing going into Honkai about it. I knew that it was a gacha, but I really didn't know what that meant. I only have played Genshin. That's the only gacha I've personally played. And now I've come to know that Genshin is shit, but we're going to get into that. So in my first hour of playing Honkai, I was like, okay, this feels dated. I looked it up. This shit came out in 2016, and I was like, oh my god, this game is kind of old. And you feel it. You feel it when you play the game. It's not that, fluid. It's not as well made and put together as Genshin is. You could tell with not only the gameplay mechanics of how they put things in there, but also with the storytelling and the menus and how they teach you things. It is a 2016 era game. It doesn't do things good. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it the nice way. It doesn't do things good. And within the first hour, I was heavily considering just dropping the game and being like, okay, not only does this feel like a game from 2016, it feels kind of like garbage and shit. The controls are ass. On PC, at least. They recommend you use a controller, which I'm not fucking doing that shit. And I was like, okay, the controls are ass. It's one of those games where back in the day, at least on PC, it's kind of a little hard to do this. I've gotten used to it now, but the controls for PC is so weird. You pretty much have to have the camera just move forward with you. You can't really control it with the mouse. You don't really use the mouse in this game, which I was shocked by. And then, to make it, even worse, you can't really actively aim. There are different settings you could change, but I just stuck with the basic one. And I was like, okay, I'm having such a bad time here. And then I even realized, wait a minute. This game is for mobile. I was like, not only is this game a 2016 game and it's for mobile, it kind of looks like shit, it kind of plays like shit, it's confusing, they don't explain anything because in the era of those games, they just shove you in and then you find it out as you go, which I really don't like. Nowadays, they don't really do that. They explain more than they did in Honkai, at least. And I was not having a good time, but I stuck through it, and my god, I was glad I stuck through it. I'll tell you this. I streamed this and I actually did get viewers, and I was shocked, and these viewers stayed and they helped me. So far, the Honkai community has been nothing but helpful and great, and I'm very, very, like, surprised and thankful. Not only did I get viewers, but they actually stayed and helped me. And these people were like whales and shit. Like, they knew the game. They had like thousands of hours on it, and they decided to watch me and my beginning journey stumbling about. Because here's the next problem with Honkai. Like I said, they shove you in and explain nothing about the story. They pretty much shove you in and explain almost nothing about anything else. They explain very little of how the game works, how the menus work, what you need to do, what you need to upgrade, how you upgrade things, what the different experiences are, what the different currencies are, how stats work. They explain almost nothing, right? And I'm not even taking my own, don't take my word for it, right? Because I barely have played the game. This is just my first impressions. I'm still going to play the game more, and which I didn't think I would do, but I'm going to play the game more. This is coming from the people who are mentoring me, who had thousands of hours. They said, you know, if you're a very hard beginner, right, a very hardcore beginner, you're just starting, then the tutorials are okay, but overall the tutorials for this game are trash. So don't take it from my mouth, take it from theirs, which you can see them at Twitch.tv/Tecnics channel. They told me, you know, the tutorial's not that good, and thankfully I had them there to explain shit to me. The game did explain some stuff over time, but it really wasn't too much. The game throws so much information at you. I had people come in my chat and they said after 6 months of playing this game, 5 to 6 months of playing, they are still confused because this game has so many systems upon subsystems, upon like menus where you unlock shit and different currencies and this and that, and different side activities you could do to get other different currencies which you could use at this different shop that expire in a little bit for different things. It was so crazy, right? They basically explain almost nothing. And it was a very rough patch in the beginning. But if you get over the beginning, this game is actually insane. The best way I can describe this game so far is it's pretty bad because it's a game of its time, but they kept updating it and they put a lot of good things in here. For the most part, the game is dated, it's clunky, it's kind of bad, but when it's good, it's really good. And it does one thing very well that I like, and it plays into my personal fantasies. This game, I thought I originally was going to play it for an hour or two and then drop it. And I almost did drop it in the first hour, like I said. However, as time went on, I got so invested into the complex systems of how much there is. I really like a game that shows that it has longevity and grinding, which this game definitely does. And it has a lot of subsystems for later on in the game that they do show you early, which does kind of overwhelm you. But as time goes on, it's great because it keeps you in, because you know there's more down the line, and they just keep throwing more at you. I did not expect to play this game for 6 hours. I played this game for 6 hours. And by the end of it, I was mentally exhausted, but in a fucking good way. I love gacha games. This, I can confidently say, is actually a true gacha. Genshin is fucking ass. Now, I'll say this, right? Genshin is running. Honkai had to walk for Genshin to run. Honkai tested a lot of things that eventually made its way to Genshin. They got more refined. If this game had Genshin's level of refinement and, like, systems in it, this game would be fucking, like, incredible. I have not felt this way towards the game. I'm not going to say I'm purely attached yet, because, again, this is a game of its time. I'm not too invested in it. It is a gacha at the end of the day. However, I haven't felt so immersed in the game where I just spent 6 hours in it. Yeah, I was exhausted, but this is the same way I felt when I got into Warframe. When I first got into Warframe, it took me 3 tries to get into Warframe. After 3 tries of picking up the game, playing for an hour or two, and then dropping it, I eventually said, okay, I've heard this game is good, I heard this game is grindy, it kind of seems like what I like, which is collecting stuff, rarity, that has drops. It's very similar to a gacha, but it's not. But after 3 attempts with Warframe, I got addicted to that shit for months. I feel if I'm not careful, I can get addicted to Honkai because it is a gacha, and it's way more predatory in that sense. Now, back to comparing it to Genshin. One of the main things I said before was, this game walked so Genshin can run, and that is so true. However, they did not abandon this game. This game has a lot of things in its combat system that I think Genshin needs to learn from. Ironically enough, I think number-wise, Genshin is better. In terms of numbers, right? In terms of like reactions and actual combat strategy and planning, I think Genshin is a lot more complex than Honkai, as far as I know so far. From the combat itself, however, I feel like Honkai is actually better. I feel like the combat in Honkai has combos, so already it's more in-depth than Genshin does. Genshin has reactions, and you kind of can, in a way, combo things with others, but it's not hard combos. Like, it's not something that specifically works off one character's thing into another. It might be a really good synergy, but that's all it is. It synergizes. It's not a combo. Honkai actually has combos where you have to press a certain input, you have to do certain things in certain ways. Certain characters can combo off of other characters if they do a specific action. It's way more combat focused than I feel Genshin is, and Genshin needs to learn from this shit. Genshin is very bare bones with the combat compared to this, not in terms of reactions and in terms of numbers and calculations. I think Genshin beats it out, but in terms of actual how you play the game, the inputs you do, I feel like Honkai Impact 3rd is way fucking better. Hey guys, Editing Chris here. So essentially, all I'm saying is that Honkai has better mechanics and actual mechanical gameplay, whereas Genshin has a better system in place and better thinking involved. I can sum it up basically like that if it was confusing to you. If not, then keep watching. Whoa! And it's actually more fun to play this game so far, and this is how I've played it, than I've ever played in Genshin. Genshin, you kind of just, face roll everything and you one-shot it with your ult, or you just watch the damage fly. Honkai, you look cool and you feel cooler while doing it. And that is another thing I want to move to. The animations. The animations in Honkai are fucking superb. Now, granted, I'm still at the beginning of the game with the beginning characters. They're okay. They're obviously dated. But when I tested some of the newer characters in the test runs, holy moly, I wanted to fucking, just burst my freaking... I'm not going to say that on stream, not yet. It's November. But I wanted to go crazy. Let's just put it that way. The animations in this game are so fucking amazing. It's so fucking anime. It's so weeb. I don't know how to describe it better than, it's a fucking, weeb's fantasy. You have, blades coming in from, everywhere, just impaling a target. You have void fissures opening. The graphics for the newer characters are so amazing, and the animations for the fighting is so good. It blows Genshin out the water. When you use a bow character in Genshin, you literally just sit there, charge up, and then shoot it. There are some good animations in Genshin with the basic attacks for some 5 stars, even though some of them are reused. And the ults are okay, everyone knows Ball's ult is pretty cool, but it's super quick. In fucking Honkai Impact 3rd, you have transformations that alter your whole moveset. The only thing we have close to that is kind of like Ball, and maybe Ito, kind of. But in Honkai, it's you alter everything. I played a trial run of Alicia, right? The Hersher of, I think, Human, or the Hersher of Emotion, I forgot what. But her ult is literally, she, spawns, a fucking mirror world. She goes, under the world and creates another one. She spawns a manta. She's floating around shooting, bow shots at you that actually look fucking cool and not stupid like Genshin's. It's amazing. Now, aside from the combat, the other thing I think Honkai does better is, the combat numbers, like I said, Genshin has over them. The animations and the actual combat system of fighting and pressing the buttons and, interacting with the combat, I think Honkai has better. The other thing Honkai does better is its systems of currency, right? Not only do they give you more currency, but that might be because the game is so old and they have so many achievements, they're just going to give you stuff left and right. It's just the resin system in general, which in this game is stamina. You actively don't need to grind stupid crystal cores to get condensed resin. You actually accumulate stamina in Honkai past your limit that you could store and save without even doing anything. You gain passive gold. There's a lot of just cutesy little things here and there that you just get off the rip, which again is overwhelming for a new player, but it's so cool to have. I have a little dormitory, right, where all of my rolled characters go to hang out, and they're in little chibi form. This is actually one part of the game where I think not only do they do it good, they actually do it too good, but not too good in the sense that it's great. Too good in the sense that it goes too far deep into its own audience. At the beginning of this game, they knew who their audience was. It was fucking weebs. The problem with that is they went so heavy into the weeb culture of this game. They literally have what is the equivalent of artifacts in Genshin. They called stigmata in this game. It's literally people. In Genshin, the artifacts are like little weapons and cups and goblets and stuff. In this game, it's literally fucking people, and guess what? They're mostly all girls. Every main character you're gonna play in this game is a fucking girl, which at first I thought, okay, this is nice, but oh my fucking god, it is so excessive. They have boob jiggle mechanics, and they show so much ass and so much fucking panty shots. Even I was sick of this shit, and I'm a fucking cretin, and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. They look so young, and this is the culture that they're pushing with this game. I got a little disgusted. I love the game, but my god, I would be embarrassed. I would look like one of those people who have a fucking body pillow and like fucks it at night. If you saw me playing this game and you saw some of the cutscenes in the beginning, you literally see the main character with her boobs jiggling, you see like her panty shots, you see her ass out, all the camera angles are zooming in on their ass. It's so degenerate, past a point I didn't think was possible that would make even me uncomfortable. I'm like, holy fuck. The outfits are fucking revealing. Some of them are pretty cool, but most of them are revealing. The boob jiggle mechanics, like I said, are fucking out of control. It's worse than Genshin's. I was like, holy shit. But regardless, they literally have one of the stigmata with a girl, right? And they told me, the viewers told me, that it got better over time. They started censoring a lot of their stuff, and censoring, I mean they changed their like approach to how they show the characters. But my dear god, in the beginning there's literally a stigmata, a girl with her ass out, and you see the clothing wrap around her nether regions and actually like show the outline of it, very detailed, more detailed than I thought would be in a free-to-play game that I'm assuming is on the phone for kids and stuff, maybe for teens. But even then, if I saw my teen playing this, I would think it's a fucking porn game. The images they show early on would really make you think this is like a visual novel or a porn game. And like I said, it gets fucking excessive. It is actually fucking crazy how like ridiculous this gets. However, despite that, it really makes me sad because this is a really fucking good game. Like I said, it's bad and good at the same fucking time. It's actually wild. Now, my closing thoughts. I really, really wish, right, this game was made in the current day with the current systems and controls of Genshin. I wish Genshin took its systems and combined it with Honkai, which basically is what's happening in Star Rail. However, Star Rail is turn-based and I don't like turn-based, but in every other aspect, Star Rail pretty much looks like the love child of Honkai Impact 3rd, as well as Genshin Impact, in terms of combining the systems and just the characters and the lore and the animations, because the animations for Star Rail are pretty sick. However, again, it's turn-based and I like having control of the character, but that's a personal pet peeve for a different game, not for Impact 3rd. Impact 3rd, I feel, is a very interesting case. It's a game that's definitely dated, but that's still somewhat thriving, I believe. I don't have the hard numbers, because again, I don't have time and this is my initial impressions, but I'm shocked and blown away by how much is in this game. It's a tragedy, it's so old, and it doesn't have the polish and squeaky clean shine of a new game. But I can definitely see some of the systems, like the resin system, the open world and stuff that were tested in Honkai that ended up making it to Genshin. But I feel like it's just done so much better in Honkai. They give you so much more. There's a lot more to do. Granted, the game is a lot older. It makes me at the same time hopeful for Genshin's future, even though they said they're not focusing on late game, and this game actually has a late game. It makes me hopeful for Genshin's future, because this game, if this is what Hoyo does to a game over time, I'm very excited, but I'm also very sad because I feel like I'm finding this game at basically not the bare end of its dying era, but at the end of its life cycle. Like, it's still gonna get updates, yeah, sure, but it's pretty much, with Star Rail coming out, I feel like it's gonna start getting left behind in the train station, if you know what I mean. Overall, though, I'm actually insanely excited. I'm going to try to play this game more. I was shocked, right? This is actually my first, I would say, real gacha I've experienced. And a lot of the things I've been saying, right? Where, wow, you know, they hold your stamina past, like, you getting max of it. They store it for you for later. They give you so much free stuff. There's 10 banners you can roll on instead of Genshin's 3. You can level up the characters past a 5-star. You can upgrade them even more. There's a lot more characters. Like, there's just a lot more systems in place than there is in Genshin. And I don't think it's because Genshin doesn't have the time. I think even given time, Genshin won't get to the level of complexity and, well, not polish, but like the level of just thought of how much content they're going to put in with different systems as Honkai Third Rail, even though Genshin is better in a lot of other ways. It's just really sad. It makes me hopeful for the future, especially for Star Rail, but it makes me really sad, and it makes me a little hopeful for Genshin, although I feel like they're kind of starting to abandon that too a little bit, especially because they're trying to go the anime route. But overall, I was super excited. This is a game where I feel like I can have another Warframe adventure with, which is I can non-stop grind this shit for like 6 months, as long as the resin doesn't kneecap me. But other than that, I'm really fucking excited. This game has actually blown away my expectations, and it's weird because it still leaves like a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. It's good and bad at the same time, and I sort of dislike it, but I also love it. It's crazy. If a fucking gacha comes out that's like Honkai Impact 3rd for the current day, which again, everyone's assuming is Star Rail, but aside from turn-based combat, I'm going to be so fucking excited. Overall, I'm super shocked. Mostly good, a little bit negative, but mostly good with this game. But yeah, it's just crazy. Holy shit, I needed to get this out there. If you enjoyed, please tell me in the comments below. Please like and sub. Stream every day at twitch.tv/Tecnics channel, like I said in the beginning. You can come over there, watch me, hang out with me, just chill. Please, I need viewers. If there's anything you want me to talk about or review, please post in the comments below. I read them because no one comments, and I definitely have the time to do that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Eee!